Hello, my beautiful sunshines. We're about to get this started. Let's see. Do I want this on? Let me see. How do I look? What happens when I take it off? I'm just trying to see how it looks without the light. 1 second. Because the light is going to give me a headache. Okay, so maybe I'll just leave the light, or maybe I'll move it back. All right. So let's chat it up today. Let's chat it up. Let's chat it up. So today I wanted to talk about, as you can tell, hi. If you were watching the previous lives, you're right on time. You are right on time. So today's live is a little bit about get information. And if you are a Beyonce fan, you already know what get information means. And I'm also going to talk about limits, especially since I saw somebody phrase something a certain way and I was inspired to talk to you guys about it. Hello from the UK. That's on my bucket list, and I will be going there, and best believe I'm going to come back with an accent. If I don't have an accent, I'm going right back over there, and I'm going to get it, and then come back and have it. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So what I was saying was I will be answering questions, not a lot today, but I will be talking about getting information, and I'm going to be talking about limits. So get information is exactly what it sounds like. So if you guys are not Beyonce fans or you've never listened to her music, because I'm also understanding that that may not be some people's genre of music. Beyonce has a song called Get Information. And essentially it's like rallying up the girlies. It's not just girls, like actual female. It's just a term. Rallying up those that are like-minded and saying, get information. It's time to be on your, and I'm not going to curse because YouTubing is strict with it, right? So get on your stuff. So that's what I want to talk about today. A lot of the times when you decide that you want something, it is you that places limits. So that ties into the other part of the topic of, you know, why are you placing limits? So I posted a video on my Instagram, I believe 2 days ago, of a man who has one leg and he's a CrossFit lifter, and he flipped the weight and he went up with it, right? So he squat and went up. He has one leg. Of course, anybody who like would think, oh, if I lost a leg, I can no longer lift weights anymore. I can't do what I used to do. He literally defied that. And he defied that because he did not place a limit on something that he wanted to experience. He lost a leg. However, I didn't go into the rabbit hole of figuring out how he lost a leg. But he lost a leg and he decided, hey, I'm actually not going to put myself in the box of what they tell people who have one leg they can do. I'm actually not going to use a wheelchair. I'm actually not going to stop going to the gym. I'm actually not going to make it seem like my life has to end. You know what I'm saying? He took whatever limits there were that exist about having one leg, he clearly defied that mentally. He lifted, I think I don't know how much weight was on each end, but in general, the bar by itself is 45 pounds. That's like the story of, I tell you guys, of the girl who skateboards and she has no legs. She has just her nubs and she's skateboarding. You would think the limit is you have to have legs to skateboard. She chose not to put limits on herself. Get information. So if you're trying to understand what I am saying, that's what I mean by get information. Some of you guys just want to text. And I'm gonna come for you guys today because I want you guys to hear how bogus it is sometimes some of you sound. And this is just to wake you guys up. I'm not being mean. I'm just kind of wake up, get information. Some of you guys want just a text message, which I feel is actually the bare minimum. But that's, who am I? This is what you want. I'm not judging you what you want. Some of you want a text message and is out here reacting to every little story that you hear outside of you about relationships. And there's a man out here with one leg lifting a weight, defied all limits that were placed on somebody that literally only has one leg. And all you want is a text message. So what's stopping you? You are believing in whatever limits you are placing. Oh, I don't know. We haven't talked in 3 years, so that person can't possibly want to text me. Okay. If that's the limit that you want to place on yourself, that's fine. People who are ready to get information, if you're listening to me over here, understand that these blocks that you perceive that you have is yourself putting it there. Just tell yourself to not believe that no more. Just change the story. Oh, he's not going to text me because it's been 2 years. Actually, no. Maybe the 2 years made him grow up and realize how much he or she misses me, and they have to find a way to contact me. I remember the last time my number changed. So I don't know how they're going to get it. Next you know, they reached out to your sister, to your friend, to your cousin who was able to get in contact with you. And you can't even tell me that story doesn't happen, because there's a bunch of stories of people who were reached out to that way. You see all the time on social medias, people creating a Netflix account or sending cash apps to send the message. We can even talk about money. We could talk a perfect example about money. I had a friend who was a personal trainer with me, and they needed money to just have a better quality of life. They didn't know how the money was going to come, but I remember him always saying, I don't care. I just know there's going to be no harm, and I'm just going to receive a large sum, and it's going to be mine. He ends up training a woman one day who was crying, and he just consoled her and just told her it's going to be okay. And she felt uplifted to find out that she actually was selling her home and gave him half of the money. He got a lump sum of money out of nowhere. He didn't know that this lady had money. He didn't know this lady was selling a home in another state. He got the money because he didn't place a limit on how that money can come to him. He focused on, actually, that money is already mine. I just remember him always saying it. He's like, no, that money is mine. It just has to be. That's just my storyline. I feel like my storyline is that I'm going to receive a large sum of money. Console the lady out of the kindness of his heart. That's what you call inspired action. He probably didn't even think, oh, if I help this lady, I can get something. He just was like, I don't know, she's crying today. Maybe we should stop the training and just console her, which he did. He stopped the personal training and went, are you okay? Like, you're literally crying in practice, which usually happens because you're moving energy around in your body. So if you have a lot of pent-up emotion, working out helps, calming the nervous system, right? So she probably was just moving around a lot of energy in her body, crying. And he was just like, whoa, let's stop the workout and let's talk about it out of the kindness of his heart. Still probably in the back of his head thinking, I'm going to get that money. I don't know. Who knows? But it's going to be mine. And she came back the next day. So he didn't even know that same day. She came back the next day and said, hey, I actually closed on my house today, and I wanted to give you half of it. Because she was going to move into a smaller house and didn't need all the money. How could he have even wrapped his head around that? Get information. Like I said, if that is not example enough, just go back to the very example of the guy with the one leg. Some of you are only asking for a text. And that's why I sometimes go, not only should you not be limiting yourself, you should actually be dreaming big, because you can have anything you want. Like, I want you guys to really, really think about what I'm saying here. Usually someone who does not have a limb, what are they taught in society? Oh, you are now handicapped, which is not an insult. I'm just telling you guys protocol of what society does. Oh, you are now handicapped. You can't do as much as someone who has all their limbs. Oh, let me help you because you probably can't. It's automatic that we think these people are unable. That man lifted a barbell with weights on each end and did a deep squat and rose. Not only is he showing calisthenics and mobility, he showed core strength, and he showed his mental he showed where his mental was. I can do it. It is possible. I don't care what the masses say. The masses say that once you lose a limb, all is over. And he went against the masses, which shows you what? It's all you. Some of you need to get information and stop focusing outside of you and really pay attention to what you're doing here. Do you want your desire or not? You need to focus. Get information. I'm so serious. This video is rallying you guys up. It's about that time. It's about that time. Get locked in. Get focused. I can have what I want. I can create the experience that I want. I am powerful. I can articulate my thoughts. I can get into my dream school. I am capable. It is possible. There are no limits. I am limitless. Get information. Exactly, Natasha. It was really cool to see the video. I actually saved it for that very reason, because it's like, I'm also a gym person, so seeing someone do that made me go, wow, it's really mental over like a physical. Not even just that. I've done something called a Spartan race. I don't know if some of you know what a Spartan race, if like you're not in like the athletic world, or even if you're not even from, anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've done a race called the Spartan race. It's a race, it's like a really intense race where you run, like there's running, and in between the running there's obstacles, but obstacles that are really hard, and you're supposed to make it through. And you can play the competitive one or you can play the non-competitive, but the whole point is to get a great time in the run, right? And a lot of people would think that maybe it might be the most athletic person, but it's actually the person who has the best mindset that actually has a great time. The person that can run, do obstacles, and tell themselves, I'm gonna make it, I can do it, rather than the person who thinks, oh, I look the best, I got the abs. It's the mindset of the person that usually, people who make it through the end of a Spartan race. So me, I wasn't going for a fast time, but I made it to the end of the Spartan race. And in the end, do you know what I felt? I felt, wow, I just kept telling myself I can do it. And my body just listened to me, and I made it to the end. I was so proud of myself. A lot of the times, what some of you just need to do is focus on what it is that you are trying to create, and not on everybody else, and not on the limits, and not if it can't work, and not on all the ways that it can't work or it's not working for you. You need to shift your awareness. Do you think that I couldn't have stopped in the middle of the woods and been like, please take me away on a stretcher? Somebody call the ambulance. Somebody take me away and get me to the bottom of this hill, because the Spartan race happened also on a hill. So you go up the hill, then come down the middle, then you go back up, and then you come down again, all while doing obstacles. And some of these obstacles are in mud. Some of these obstacles is climbing. Some of these obstacles challenge different parts of your body. I could have told them, take me away. Please, I'm not making it to the end. I said, no, I'm going to tell myself I can make it. And I made it to the end. I actually have a medal. Don't know where it is, actually. But yeah, I actually have a shirt as well. The whole point is to focus on the fact that you can create and have the experience that you want. Any excuses that you have are you placing limits on yourself. And why would you want to do that? Why are you doing that to yourself? What are your what are your thoughts about manifesting via the path of least resistance? I feel a lot more comfortable going general, manifesting a home. Then do that. It's not, guys, it's not about the technicalities of manifesting. That guy, I'm going to keep using this guy as an example, because it just shows you how people who are not necessarily in this law of assumption world searching content are still achieving. And I like to use athletes, because athletes' mental encouragement manifest into their sportsmanship and their athleticism and stuff like that. So it's an easy example for me to use. I'm going to go at this again. I'm going to break this down for you. A lot of you guys are focusing on the technicalities of manifesting. Should I do law of detachment? Should I do law of least resistance? Should I do law of this? Should I do this? Should I do that? And figuring out all these names that all mean the same thing. This man who is not in this world, this manifestation world, just has probably a simple chant that he probably is doing. I can do this. It is possible. and going about his life, and he's doing amazing things. It's not about the technicalities, it is about your focus. Where are you focusing? What are you focusing on? Are you sitting there focusing on if you're doing this right? Are you sitting here focusing on maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, maybe it's better if I do this, maybe it's, or are you focusing on, you know what, forget it. If I affirm today, it works. If I visualize tomorrow, it works. If I script on Wednesday, it works. Whatever I do works. I'm going to just do what feels good to me, that gets me into the state of wish fulfilled. You will be surprised at how you drop the worrying, the overthinking, and the overdoing and trying, and you start embodying, because you start saying, it does not matter. I'm going to just do what works for me. Get information. You understand? Now, if you feel more comfortable going general about your house, that is absolutely okay, but you do not need me to tell you that. You already knew this. But if you want to go specific with your house, then you can, but you did not need me to tell you that. What you do need to hear, though, is to continuously focus on you being in your home and not on the technicalities of it. How many affirmations did I say, Nicolette? What affirmations did you say, Nicolette? Should I do 5 in the morning and 5 in the evening? That is not the questions you should be asking. Hey, you know what, Nicolette? I decided that I'm going to meditate in the morning and I'm going to script at night. And I decided that that's what's going to work for me. And that's how I'm going to get what I want. And I'm going to say, wow, okay, you go for it. I love that. And you're going to come back and say, I got it. Or you can do what some people do and just, I'm just going to say this and say, I can do it and it's already mine. And they get it. You do what works for you. And then once you decide what you're going to do, you don't need to continue to watch videos figuring out what's happening. That's where you guys, do you think that someone who believes, let's go back into athleticism, sorry. Let's think about a track runner. I used to be a track runner, so I can explain this easily. You are labeled as the best, the fastest runner. You've been to multiple meets. You've been running fast. You're doing great. So you're labeled as the best, correct? However, there are other young women or young men along the line that also think that they're the best. But in your world, you are the best. There's no one else. Are you going to sit at the line when they blow the sound to start the race to see what all the other girls are going to do or what the other men are going to do? Or are you just going to run and do as best as you can saying, I am the best? So I'm going to put it in manifestation terms. Are you going to sit here and continuously think, how much affirmation should I say? What should I do? How should I go about this? Are you going to continuously stay in, how am I doing it right? Or are you just going to go into, you know what? This is what I'm deciding works for me. This is what feels best for me. I get into the state of the wish fulfilled when I do this. I don't get as triggered when I do this. And this is how I'm going to embody it. And you're out of here. What are you focused on? Y'all, get information. Get information. I'm not even playing with you guys no more. It's time to get serious about yourself. Get serious about yourself. Get serious about your dreams. Get serious about what you want to experience. Does it matter if my SP is my best friend and I see them a lot while everything is falling into place? No. Some people, so this is another thing. Everybody's storyline is going to be different because all of you are different people and all of you guys were raised with different beliefs. There are going to be some women that will be in the presence of their SP as a friend and it triggers them. So they need to take a step back to manifest them. That's okay. But you may be a type of woman that can be in the presence of your best friend or your SP and still be his friend and know that it's growing and flowing into that direction. That works for you. So if you're able to be there and not be triggered and know that and stay in the knowing that, oh, he's going to catch feelings for me, he's going to fall in love with me, or as time goes on, he's going to realize not only am I his best friend, but I am also his wifey, then do that if it's not triggering you. It's when things trigger you guys that I think that you guys need to take a step back and kind of question, am I putting myself in these uncomfortable situations? And you don't have to. There's no wrong answer. Right? So really think about this goes for the house example as well. If you're realizing that you are okay saying specific things about your home on Monday, then go with it. But if you realize on Tuesday that it's a little bit triggering for you, then you need to go general, then you do that. But both days, do you know why it's going to be a great and beautiful days for you? Because Monday you decided to focus with specifics, and Tuesday you decided to still focus and be general. Both days you focused. You didn't focus on if you were doing it right or wrong, you just decided to focus. That is what I've been trying to tell you guys. If you can frequently and just be consistent in putting yourself in a state of the wish fulfill without sitting there like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? No, just consistently do it. What you're going to realize is you get so disciplined in a routine of consistently focusing on your story that it unfolds. It unfolds. That's all I'm trying to tell you guys. Just focus on what you need to focus on. Oh, I love crocheting. This girl at my job started doing it and showing me stuff. After so much struggle, I now realize, decide, trust myself, know I have it, relax, enjoy. I stay present. When I think of a specific desire, I affirm quickly, trust it enough, and move on. So, I wanted to say something about that, Nikki Soul, which is very, very, very important. So, you said you used to struggle. So, I want to talk about that. If you go even into Buddhist text, you'll see that Buddhists tend to talk about how struggle is really self-inflicted. Like it's a mental thing that humans put themselves through because they keep putting themselves in these mental prisons, right? Because they keep thinking of past eras or past regrets or past stories that were hurtful to them. And it's nobody holding a weapon to them telling them think like this, but it's just a human thing that humans do sometimes. Now, I'm not generalizing all humans. So struggle is something that you can actually just exit from. And if you realize that your mind is trying to go back into the prison, all you have to do is mentally free yourself. So if you can realize that struggle is really a self-inflicted thing, you'll soar because you realize all I need to do is trust myself enough to make a decision, to have an experience, and then I will have it, right? Because I'm giving it to myself. I'm saturating myself with this experience. I'm telling myself I deserve this experience, right? Rather than mentally keeping myself in a prison of, well, you got cheated on before, so that means you can never experience a fairy tale love. That is a mental prison. And that's also you telling yourself you don't deserve what you want. We can even do it with money. I grew up poor, so that means I can never experience levels of wealth. Who told you that? So if you're running that in a loop, you are telling yourself that. You don't have to. And here, I'll even say this. You can think like that. You can absolutely think like that if you want to. But just understand that if you're choosing to go down that route, that will be your experience. So you're going to manifest anyway. But if you choose to go against the grain of what you've been taught, especially if it's a topic that's very deep rooted in you, what you're going to realize is things can actually change. Do you think that, stories and movies of rags to riches, or even general stories that you may not even see, and even love stories come from the ass? No, somebody thought that. Somebody experienced that, which means it's very possible. And if you realize you want to experience something, then you can. Get information. How do you deal with SP if you work with them and are in no contact? How can you interact with them? Okay, so first you need to get clear on what you want to experience. This person that's at your job, that you're considering your person, is this somebody that you want to have an experience with, like a friendship? Do you want it to be romantic? Get clear on what it is that you want, first of all, okay? Once you get clear on what it is that you want, what beliefs do you currently hold that are not aligned to that story that you experienced? So If you realize you're saying you want, I don't know what you want from this person, but I'm going to give an example. Let's say you decide you want commitment and you want romance, and you want this to bloom into an actual relationship from work. No judging, just that's what you, let's say that's what you want. You decided that's what you got clear on what you want. This is what you want to experience. But you realize you have these beliefs that are relationships are hard. Guys don't actually, or women don't actually choose me. I don't get chosen. I get friend zoned, or I do whatever story. I don't know what story. I get rejected. You need to address that. Okay? Address that because you just got clear on what you want. Make sure your beliefs that you are instilling are aligned with what you want. Okay? The next thing is understand that you don't need to force it. You genuinely don't. You don't have to force it. You don't have to overthink it. You don't even have to try to manipulate the person to try to talk to you or be in the same space and hope they see you. You don't even have to do that. When you instill these new beliefs that you want, like I'm unforgettable, I'm always chosen in love. Guy, I don't know if you're a guy, girl, so I'm just saying a guy. Men always pursue me, to want to commit to me, to want to date me. When you start to instill the beliefs that you want to experience in a relationship, what's going to naturally happen is this person will find a way to talk to you, and so will other options. Because it's not just going to be specific to them. You're going to naturally become magnetic because you're going to start to naturally embody what you want. You want to be desirable and wanted and seen and unforgettable and treated with respect naturally. Another thing that I would advise you to work on is, if you get clear on your story, stop saying you're not in contact with this person. Start saying something else. You could say anything, but stop with the no contact. You could say, oh, he's so shy, he's just figuring out how to talk to me. I'm the prettiest girl he's ever seen, that's why he like kind of gets shaky, and now he's gonna start. Figure out a new story, but stop telling that one. And the reason why I'm telling you to get clear on what you want is because some of you guys go into these things, and I'm not one of those people that teach like that. I'm not even a coach anymore, first of all, so let me correct myself. But some of you go into it saying, I just want a text message. And a text message is cute or whatever. But then get mad. But it's not going nowhere else. But all you asked was for a text message. Dream big. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. If I tell you you have this unlimited power to experience what you want, I give you this, not me, but I'm telling you that you have this vast world. You can travel. You can create a story that works for you. And you decide, I just want a text. Sometimes I look at y'all like, more! More! You deserve more. More, you deserve more. And not only that, I think some of you guys go small because you think that's all you can get. You deserve more. No settling. No settling. So when you get clear on what you want to experience, because I don't know what you want from that person from your job. If you genuinely just want to be this person's friend, then you need to start saying that's what you want, and start saying that. If you want this person that because you want a relationship, then same thing. Because sometimes I don't be knowing what some of you guys want, so I can't just decide. I can't just assume that everybody wants a relationship, because I've had people hit me up and say that they just want a hookup thing. I don't know. I don't judge y'all. I just make content that I love, right? So just really, really sit yourself down, get clear on what you want, and make sure you align your beliefs to that. But most importantly, the part that I want you to grasp from me is that you deserve the best. So don't settle or create crumbs because you think that's all you can get. You can go big. Okay? Cool. Hey Nikki, I actually took your way of manifesting a SP for myself and money and stuff lately, and things within have shifted much better. I feel more confident about myself and manifesting my desire. Period. Okay? And I like to teach you guys sustainable ways so that you can actually enjoy life and not be clammed up in your room. like struggling. I want you guys to actually embrace and live life and still realize you can have what you want. But I'm also been wanting to teach you guys how to be able to like self-soothe and navigate when you are triggered and when you are feeling emotional, because you're human and it happens. Um not sure if I should try to change my current SP or manifest a new one altogether. Your world, you can do what you want. So I can give you an example and you could take it and apply where it doesn't, or apply, you get the point. You could take what you want, don't take what you don't want. The second time I manifested my partner, I had decided like I want to take a step back and I want to actually experience the world and see like if there's other things out there, right? And then after a while like of seeing what was out there, I didn't know what was out there. I didn't really do anything. I just kind of wanted to see like outside, and there was nothing out there. And then I realized I wanted my partner. So do it. There's no wrong or no. There's no right. There's no, like I keep trying to tell you guys. If you experiment with yourself, if you really focus on yourself, and you see that you can get what you want, really, if you instill those beliefs, you'll realize deciding if you want the old one or not is going to be it's a decision that's up to you, and nobody can judge you for it. You could decide, oh, I don't want them back, and go and manifest brand new, and it's great. And then at the end of that year, you're like, whoa, actually, I miss this person, and still be able to manifest that person. Don't put yourself in a box. Just think, what would I want to experience? And just go from there. The other options is something I realized I was sabotaging. I had a story saying that no one was interesting and that I was dead inside. That's exactly what I experienced. Yikes. Yikes is right, DeCaries. Girl, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you say, and I get it. When you meet a person that you get along with well, especially if it's a romantic connection, but sometimes friendships too. When you meet someone that you feel the connection is great and the chemistry is great and you guys can talk about everything and you realize you were able to be your authentic self and like this person still is liking you, you kind of start to attach and also sometimes think, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to experience this with anybody else. But I just want to say something. There's a billion people in this world, right? And although you can have it with this person, to say that if this person was to go away, you would never experience that again is literally telling yourself you're not going to make yourself experience love elsewhere. You following what I'm saying? So, although it is okay to like that connection, if that person was to step away, and if you have the mindset that, oh my God, all is lost, I would never experience that again, is really, really like putting yourself in such a place that you won't experience that. But yet there's so much people. There's a billion people on this earth. So just think about that. Just kind of think about, it's okay to, like I said, it's okay to see that maybe this person is not as interesting as him, but to even categorize the whole population of men and say, I would never experience love again, it's going to be like your wish is my command. And then you'll never experience that because you put your mind into a filter of, don't show me ways I can experience love again. You want to keep the filter on, I can still experience love again, whether it's with this person or with somebody new. You want to open up that filter, but don't put the filter on, this is it, end all, be all. If I'm not with this person, I will never have fun in a relationship again. Right. Instead of focusing on a specific desire, I try to go through my day in the present. Then whenever I think of anything, I just state my new story and go back to the present. So that's what Nikki Soul, that's what I call the term that I say, affirm and live your life. So when I wake up, yes, if I automatically think of it, most times when I wake up I think about my partner. So I put myself into that story for he's circulating in here. When that kind of naturally passes, I'm still living my life. I get up, I put on my clothes, I pick my outfit for work, I comb my hair, I do my skincare, and I'm flowing. If I get to my car and I realize I have a thought about money, I put myself into the what do I want to think about money, right? I'm very aware. And then if it naturally ebbs and flows away, then I go into the next thing. Like I said, you can affirm robotically all day if that's your spiel. For me, that's not sustainable, and to me, it's boring. If it's not boring to you, please do not be offended by that. And I'm putting emphasis on that because I don't want anybody to feel discouraged. I don't promote discord on here. Like, I'm not going to argue with you on what you think is right and wrong. I just don't robotically affirm all day because I want to think about other stuff. You know, like work and actually I want to actually look, oh my God, the birds are chirping. The sky is blue. Like, you know, like I want to have moments like that. So do what you want. But yes, staying present is what I call affirm and live your life. Like I trust myself enough that if for an hour I'm actually dived into work, I know that what I want is still mine. I don't have to panic and go, I didn't affirm for an hour. No, I trust myself enough that if I say it's mine, it's mine. But if I choose to affirm in the next hour, I can if I want to, but it's already mine. Some of you guys are depending on these things. And so when you don't do it, you're like, oh my God, I missed an hour. Breathe easy. Breathe easy. Breathe easy. I've been practicing effortless manifesting, aka no trying. And I just say it's done or think it's a good way. I notice huge shifts. It started though with persisting in one affirmation first. Yes, I do that mostly too. If I'm not visualizing, so I sometimes call myself a lazy manifester, meaning if I realize it's going to take me a lot of brain power and it's causing me to be drained or like too much brain power, I'm like, whoa, relax. Soft girl era. I deserve to relax. I deserve to just be easy. So I'll go, actually, it's going to work out for me. And I put my mind on something else. This is my method, guys. If that's not something that works for you, like I said, do what works for you. You're darn right I said that, the Carries. If it's not what you want, why are you focused on it? I don't like robotic affirming either, right? So this is not a sorry guys, this is not a shame those that robotic affirm. I'm not shaming those that do. I'm just letting you know I'm a person that does not. If you are someone that does, you're still welcome here. However, just know that that's not always what I'm going to recommend, because I believe in a sustainable lifestyle. Because there's going to be moments that I'm actually living my life. There's going to be moments that I'm on a yacht, the captain of the yacht, driving it on the ocean, and I'm not going to be sitting there affirming, he loves me, he loves me, he loves me. I'm going to be living my life talking about I'm lit, I'm beautiful, I'm fun, right? Like, so it's like, and even if I don't say that, I'm just going to be enjoying the waves. Even if I go to a beach, sometimes I use the beach as times to affirm, but still, like, I like the balance of things. I like if I do affirm for a while, okay, that's nice. And if I do visualize, that's nice. But at the same time, I'm still here. I'm still living my life, doing things that needs to get done. And I think that lack of balance is what some people experience and why they're frustrated and burnt out, because they lack balance. They're so consumed with just watching. And I did have a video about this. If you don't know the name, I think on the channel I called it you don't have to watch all your thoughts, or you don't have to you don't have to control all your thoughts, something like that. I did a video like that recently. Watch that if you don't know what I'm talking about. You do not have to literally sit there and count and watch all your thoughts. It's literally not fun and not sustainable. Okay? Oh my gosh, hi Lex. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi Lex. I've been putting in that work and seeing results. Thank you for your content. You're welcome, Lex. It's good to see you. Manifested someone new that I don't know. I wrote down a list of qualities. Yep. Beautiful energy. And every time, and I want you guys to be very understanding of this, okay? Your brain is very, 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 very powerful and very complex. So let's go outside of manifesting for a moment, right? Let's think bodily functions. First of all, you are sleeping and your body is being run. Whatever it is, but your brain is still working. Okay? Let's even think about how even if you're using a percentage of the brain, the other percentage is still working and doing things. Some people can simplify complex topics. Some people can make simple concepts complex. Both are talent, right? So just really think about how the brain on a science level, right, is so complex and is really smart. If you write a list, because a question I've gotten one time is, what if I write a list and I say I get everything on my list? Is my brain, am I gonna know? Trust yourself. I think some of you guys treat your brain like it's dumb. But you're not dumb, but your brain is also not dumb. Your brain is actually really, really, really complex, but also so cool and powerful. It's a tool that you can use to your benefit. So do that. So you wrote a list of things that you want to experience in a partner. And I love that for you. And now anytime you think about being with someone, you either think he's everything or she's everything that's on my list. And if you don't want to do that, you can maybe remember a specific thing on the list, like, oh yes, my partner is romantic. And like that will be one thing. And maybe if you think about them again, you can think about something else on your list. Right? I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what's my thing I should do, especially with small manifestations coming so easily with different techniques and feeling like big manifestations take long. The first thing that you need to do is remove the mindset that there's a small and big manifestation. That's number one. Put them all on the same level. That's literally the first step. Take them off of small and big, because what's going to happen is you're going to start to categorize things into small and big, and then they will be small and big. Put them all on the same level. They're all easy. That's the first step. Second step is get to know thyself, in terms of like, you're saying you've been playing around with different things to see what works for you, and you've been seeing what works. Which is the one that you usually naturally are more drawn to, that you do more often, and who says you have to stick to one? You don't have to put yourself in a box. When I manifested my car, I did a vision board. I don't even do vision boards anymore. When I manifested my job, I scripted. For my partnership, I did affirmations and I did sleep tapes. Every single time, though, was a decision made that, hey, I'm getting this, and this is mine, and I'm going to have this experience no matter what. I don't sit here thinking, damn, which one? I don't know. Also, nothing is big or small to me. Getting a car and getting $10, same level. Getting commitment, getting $5,000, same level. None is small or big. Remove that. That is you giving yourself a rule that is causing you to experience that. Remove that rule. You don't need it. Boring to me too. I definitely respect robotic affirming, but I love music, talking, reading, thinking. I can robotically affirm while doing those things. That was my point. I just genuinely, I sometimes want to read a book. I sometimes want to listen to the words of the music and act like I'm on a beach and not do words over and over again. Sometimes I actually want to enjoy the conversation that I'm having with someone. And I began to see that that is okay, that that's what I want. So I don't have to robotically affirm. But there are, like I said, there are moments that I'm sitting and I'm like, I'm so sexy, I'm so sexy, I'm so sexy, I'm so sexy. And I'm okay with that. You see like how Nikki Soul is writing that because she experimented and she's flown with what she likes and she don't, or I don't know if it's, yeah, she, I'm going to just say she, what she likes and don't likes. She's not telling anybody that they're wrong, but she's in an energy of, this is what I'm doing because I like this and this is what works. That's all you have to do. You make a decision on what kind of experience. I want to be richer. Okay, so if I want to be richer, I need to make sure that anytime I think about money, or anytime I'm dwelling on the topic of money, I'm either thinking about the specific amount I want, if you want a specific amount, or I'm just overall thinking about how my lifestyle change will be. So, for example, if you want more money, something that you can think about is how you would send your mom monthly money to help her out as she retires. Or maybe if you wanted to get more money, a thought you can have is actually every time you sign into your bank account, you see that the money keeps climbing. If you wanted more money, another way you can see is if you want to go through your job, you can think about how they're reaching out to you from a promotion. There's so many options there that you can think and go down. Just get clear on what it is that you want and start to put yourself mentally in those places. Someone who is identifying as wealthy is not sitting down talking with people and talking about how they broke. Someone who is adopting or has the mindset that money comes to them consistently is not writing on social media and tagging and reposting comments about how I can't afford vacation. They're actually saving the vacation post for, I'm putting that on my bucket list because I'm going and I know I can afford it. I'm scrolling. Hold on. I just saw it. I'm going to talk about time in a second, Angel. Give me a moment. I'm going to talk about time. Because focusing on time has to do with not living in the present, like Nikki Soul has said. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. That used to be me freaking out if I go an hour without practicing, focusing on it. Actually, I'm still working on this. I love that you're still working on this. I really love. And one thing about you that I appreciate is you gonna be transparent and you're gonna keep it a buck. And I love that. Here's the thing. Just think about you with all of. I agree with the time does not exist, but I want to talk about it in a second. I just wanted to, because it's a thought process. But anyways, think about um you with your desire, right? You have your desire and you're living a regular day. If you want an hour just resting, let's say you was thinking, I want to own a house on, because I know, Anna, you manifested a home, but let's say you want to own a house by the beach. And so you own the home already and you're sitting on the beach. And when you're sitting on the beach, you're just going to be enjoying life. Do that now. You're just going to enjoy the moment. Do that now. And anytime you notice an hour passed without you practicing, you don't have to beat yourself up. Just be like, oh, that's what I would have did if I had my house. So it's okay. That's how, like, you don't need to beat yourself up. You don't. Ash, are you new here? I'm not saying that rudely, but like, are you new here? Is it possible to manifest someone even though they was 6 months no contact? I feel like you guys can answer that. You, you you guys can answer that. And be nice. The answer is literally yes. But that's it. Just oh, you are new, yeah, Ash. Okay, so yeah, like the 6 months no contact is a circumstance that you're choosing has a reason why you can't have what you want. It's not a reason why. You can have anything you want. It doesn't matter. You need to let go of the story that whatever happened or that there's no contact and choose a new story. It's very possible. Okay? And I'm not just telling you that as someone who's trying to just encourage you. I've been in certain circumstances with relationships and even money, and I'm no longer in them because I chose not to let it limit me. Don't know if you were here in the beginning of the live. I also talked about a guy who has one leg that I forgot what it's called. I think it's called a clean. He did a clean squat, clean, whatever it's called, right? And he has one leg. He didn't choose to take having one leg as a limitation. So you need to figure out what you want to experience with your love life and focus on that story only. You have to ditch this story. I know you're asking because you're new here. So that's why you asked that question. But the story of, oh, 6 months, no contact, they don't want me, we had an argument, you need to ditch that. That's no longer relevant. And that's a decision you have to make, and things shift when you really mean it. Like when you really get serious. So it's one thing to go, oh yeah, I ditched the old story, and then tomorrow you're like, oh my god, they don't. You have to make the decision. No, I'm wanted. This person wants to talk to me. I'm the best thing to ever happen to them. They're actually figuring out a way to reach out to me. Then you can go into, actually, I'm cool as hell. People want to talk to me. People want to be around me. You know, you need to pick a new story here. All right. Hi, Judy. The brain is one of my favorite organs. I love my brain so much. I love my brains too. People fight with theirs, and you don't have to. You could just be your brain's best friend and be like, hey, 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 this is what we're doing instead. I don't fight with mine. If I notice that it's like I'm having a fight, or like it's like a little, I go watch cartoons or go to sleep, and then I try again. Vision boards never worked for me. Neither did they for me, besides the car. And then I ditched them after that. Reverse engineer also helps. You realize you've done it before and you didn't have to think about the technicality. So thank you to Curious for that, because I talked about that in the last live. And where I clarified where if it is something traumatic, you do not have to back engineer and break down and analyze everything that happened in that traumatic event. That's not what I'm telling you. But what I'm more so telling you is that if you can think back on some of your thinking process when you were getting the things that you want and when you were getting the unfavorable things, what you'll kind of realize is that, hey, I had a certain pattern thinking at this time. If you can be honest with yourself. If you're going to deny it, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you can really be honest with yourself, you'll know some of the thought processes. It doesn't mean that the things that you received, you deserve that. That's in no way what I'm saying. But if you can like think about your past you can, matter of fact, here's an even better example. I back up all my photos to a drive. Anytime I take a picture on my phone, it's backed up into a drive. So I have pictures backed into like 2000s, early 2000s, 19 whatever. That's gonna give away my age. I'm young, guys, but like sometimes saying older than the 2000s, it make you sound crazy old. But when I go through my photos and I remember things that happened in those chapters of my life, I can also remember some things of how I used to think about myself and what I used to think about certain topics. So I had a sad girl era. And that sad girl era, I was really down on myself. I would always tell myself I wasn't working hard enough. I would always tell myself I wasn't good enough. I would always say certain things about myself. And when I look at those pictures during that time, I'm never going to delete them because every chapter of me I love, right? But I learned. When I look at those pictures, I'm like, wow, when I look back, I really was thinking these things, and that's why my experiences was like that. And even though I didn't know about manifestation, when I would go to the very next chapter, I remember why I had a different experience. It's because I was just tired of being sad one day, and I'm like, I deserve to be happy. I'm just gonna be a lit girl. And then I remembered that party stage for me. It was just a decision, and I decided to focus on a different version of me. Now that I'm into conscious manifesting, I know that what terms and stuff I did without knowing, but it's essentially the same thing. If you can really think, this is not just for unfavorable things. Even think about great chapters of your life. What were you thinking about yourself? What were you thinking about love? What were you thinking about money? What were you thinking about jobs and friends? When I was really, really in a great flow, like how I was thinking about friendships, I was outside. I was meeting beautiful women. I was making great bonds. I was doing that. Then I got a little shaky. And I remember that time period, and then I was shaky with friendships because I had shaky thoughts. Like I was like, had thoughts about like friendships don't do this and that, and that's what I experienced. And then I switched it again. And I'm like, actually, I'm a great friend. I deserve to have great friends. And now that's my experience. So you can also do that back engineering. Once again, if the experience is traumatic, there's no need to dissect and analyze unless you want to do it with a therapist. But you can kind of like, kind of get the general idea. Hey, I was thinking I wasn't good enough. Maybe let's switch that to I am good enough, you know? Okay, I actually want to talk about this. Thank you. How come I ended up manifesting my ex in the past? When I no longer wanted the manifestation, I had been working on manifesting. Nothing happened to the 3D. I gave up, then he came in. You giving up is not why it manifested, my love. You dropping the story that it could not happen and you dropping the checking, which was telling you that you don't have it, is why it manifested. Sorry to tell you. So you sat there, you probably were doing your routine, you probably was doing the thinking and then checking, which is what that statement let me know, because nothing happened in the 3D. That means you was dibble dabbling in both. You was telling a story, telling a story, telling a story, and looking. You were not fully deciding that this is what's going to happen. The moment you were like, oh, forget this, you dropped that checking, you dropped the care to see if it happened. You just told yourself, oh, I'm moving on. I'm good enough. I can do so much. I can do great. Is the moment that it unfolded because you dropped the story of checking. You dropped that it wasn't happening anymore. That's why it happened. So now, next time going into it, whether you want this person or someone new, when you're deciding a story with that person, eliminate the part where you're overly checking the 3D. And the same thing will happen. It will manifest. Okay? Where did she go? I've allowed my mind to believe I get what I want no matter how I feel or what I do. But enjoying my life is so fun. I do that whether I do have a technique or not. Yep, just live your life. Um, Thanks, Judy. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I do have a surprise coming for you guys, and I'm working on it. And I've been telling you guys this because I'm so excited because it's going to be so cute. So cute. Okay, anyways, we're moving on. How do you deal with that slight knowing and feeling of it manifesting? Because in the back of my head, I know it's on its way, it's just not here yet in the 3D. I think I get what you're asking. You're kind of thinking, you're doing everything that you need to do, but you have moments where you're like, I know it's unfolding, but I don't. You have to just discipline yourself. That's all it takes. Like you need to. It doesn't mean that you have to go and fill your day with hobbies, but trust is like, all right. Let's say you're close to your mom. I don't know your relationship with your mom, but let's just give that for example. You're close to your mom, and your mom tells you she's going to come and pick you up from school. School ends at 3 p.m. It's now 3 p.m. and you don't see your mom there, but you trust your mom, right? So you know your mom is coming. You're relaxed in the knowing, I trust this lady. She says she's coming for me. She's coming for me, right? So 3:05 comes and she's there. It's there. If you can allow yourself to just trust and stay in that knowing without like really focusing on the time, what you're going to realize is you're going to experience it. You don't have to beat yourself up for realizing you noticed the time. Just bring yourself back into, actually, she said she's coming for me. It's already done. It's already mine. That's it. And then you keep it pushing. Manifesting SP and they FaceTime me. It rang on my MacBook, but I wanted to accept a call on my phone, so I went downstairs. The call ended by the time I reached my room. Just call them back. Just call them back. Yeah, sad girl era was like a crazy time for me because I remember what I was thinking. Okay, now I want to talk about the time thing. Okay. I don't know who wrote it in here, but I think I saw it quickly right here. Anna put time does not exist, people. So I want to break down time for you guys, right? So obviously, time like, sorry, I wanted to put the charger on. So obviously, time exists. Hear me out. There's a construct of time like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, which was placed so that there can be some kind of working order for humans. And especially since we work in a society that has a schedule for working and then leaving work and then going home, it's like the clock time is a structured time that is used and needed to keep some kind of structure in the world, right? So some of the times when we think of time, we're thinking of time in terms of like January, February, March, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. We think of time of the construct that we're in, which is needed. So I wouldn't necessarily disregard it because it's needed. Like, for example, if you have a child and you have to get the child at 3 p.m., you clearly have to show up at 3 p.m., even though we know that this time was placed, even though we know this time is a construct. Are we following in that regard, right? But let's talk about now in regards to manifestation. So Neville talks about how we need to ditch time and realize that we have it right now. So he's not necessarily, to me, he's not necessarily saying ditch time like never regard 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 hours, 4 o'clock. He's more so saying if you can realize, if you can pull your senses away from that and go within, you've already given it to yourself. And once you've given it to yourself, you fulfilled yourself to say, I have it. And the more that you're in the I have it rather than the I want, it has to unfold. So you already have it now because you're in the present. That's a complex topic for people to understand because people can't wrap their head around time. And I understand that, because it's like, Nicolette, what are you telling me? You're telling me that right now it's happening, but it's a topic that it's a lot for people to swallow, right? Which I understand. But if you can just grasp this, if you don't want to go into the nitty gritties of breaking down time and sounds too complex and not simplified, let it go for a moment and focus more so this. This is why I tell you guys, don't even stress that. Don't even stress the technicalities. What I more so want you to focus on is how you're showing up. What is your I am moment to moment? Or every time your awareness is on it, what is it? Rather than, how long is this taking? Or I did this for 3 days, I don't see it yet. So you see how your mind went to time, and that's when the panic starts because your mind is trying to, simplify time. If you're doing that, let's just go back to like, hey, all right, I start to kind of panic when I think that way. Let me just more so think what my I am is. I am pretty. I am intelligent. I am a go-getter. I am highly sought out by lucrative companies, opportunities. Focus on your I am moment to moment. As you focus on your I am moment to moment, one, you'll feel better because you're mentally stabilizing. You'll feel better, literally. It's not about feelings, but you're going to feel better because now you're uplifting yourself. Now you're giving a new story that makes you want to navigate your everyday life. As you start to show up for this person, what you're also going to realize is that you start to actually believe more and more that it is possible for you to have what you want. Then what happens on top of that is that your brain is going to start to filter out experiences for you. So where you were probably seeing that it wasn't working before, now you're going to start to see how all the ways it can work and how all the ways it did work for you before. And that's when the confidence really starts to set in. And once you got the confidence, baby, you're not going to question anything else. You're going to be like, you can't tell me no, I get what I want. I can do this. It is possible. You understand? So if you can just get your focus right back here and embody who you want to be, you won't be sitting there like in this tireless loop of, 3 days. No, actually, not 3 days. I am. This is mine. What I want. You guys get what I'm saying? It's about shift. This is very simple. All you're doing is shifting your awareness. I'm going to bring it back to that. Get information, y'all. Get information. Now I understand about the not caring and it manifested. I would do that by only visualizing the desires and I stopped affirming for the I started only. You're talking about the previous statement. Oh, any tips of getting completely out of the sad girl era? I was deep in it. Now I'm only in it rarely. Well, for me, I did a mix of mindset, but I also did a mix of physical things. So the physical things is not mandatory. Like I always tell you guys, I talk about mindset and self-care on this channel. So when I was in my sad girl era, I didn't know about manifestation, but I do remember exactly what I did. I just woke up one day and I'm like, ugh, another sad day. And it was a beautiful sunny day, guys. And I love summer. So I was like, ugh, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And that's actually kind of the time period that I started up in the gym. And I wasn't a personal trainer. I never would have even thought that would have been my path at that time. So I just woke up, looked up a gym near me, signed up, and I went to the gym. And it was just so random. I just like was like, I'm gonna just move my body. I kind of know the gym. I used to be a track girl, so let's just go. And what that would look like to you could be a hobby. Actually, I think let me just get into something. I'm good at makeup. Maybe let me just watch YouTubes on makeup. Or actually, let me learn how to knit or crochet or a hobby. Hobbies help you, okay? And your hobby can be doodling or drawing or focusing on that. And then what you can do as you're doing these hobbies or as you're getting a routine that is sustainable to you, you work on your mindset. What's going to happen is as you start to keep your promises to yourself, for example, as you start to do this hobby and learn something new, your brain is going to be so excited. Your body's going to be so excited, like, oh my God, we started something new and we're actually doing better and we're actually learning something new. Your brain is going to be now going to be tuning into, oh, let's keep doing it. Let's keep going. And also, as you're working on your mindset, your body's going to be like, this is new, but you know what? This new feels different. Your body's going to start to feel satisfied that you completed these things for the day. Well, I did my hobby today. I did my affirmations today. I did some tea. You did your routine. You kept those promises. You're going to start building confidence with yourself. And that sad girl era is going to start to slowly go away. Because then, once again, guys, I'm not talking about like diagnose things from a doctor or a psychologist. She's talking about sad girl era. And if you know what that is, it's just like you just are melancholy and in your room and don't do anything. So naturally, as you start to do these things for yourself, you're actually going to start being proud of yourself. And not only that, when you're proud of something, what do you want to do? You want to show it off. And then what's going to happen is when you get proud of yourself, and probably even before that, you're going to want to be outside. And I don't mean outside like city girls. You could be, if that's your thing. But you're going to be outside in terms of, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk. I actually want to go to a museum. I want to go out with a friend. Your whole personality is going to emerge. You're going to feel more confident in yourself. So you said you're really in it. So maybe find something else that you like doing and pair it up with your mindset. Changing your mindset. Once again, guys, I teach both. You don't have to do something. You can just change your mindset and be fine. But I like self-care and stuff. So if that's what you're into, that's what we're talking about here. I am trying to improve my self-concept. I'm doing self-concept affirmations, but I don't really feel better about myself. I feel subconscious and insecure in general. Nothing is helping. Well, nothing is helping, my love, because you're saying that. And because that's the story you're actually underlying. You just answered your own thing here. You are underlyingly saying that it's not working for you. So as you do these self-concept affirmations and probably going ham and going hard, you will go into a session and you probably leaving it like, that's probably not going to work. I actually don't feel better. Another thing is, make sure that whatever self-concept affirmations you're focused on is centered around self-conscious things and you being insecure, because that's exactly, you just pinpointed what it is that you're struggling with, right? So then that's what your self-concept affirmation should be catered to. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm beautiful. There's nothing saying that I'm sexy. But if you're telling me that insecurity and being self-conscious is what you're mentally battling, then that's what you should be addressing. I don't really feel good enough for the type of man. Whoa, where did that go? I don't really feel good enough for the type of man I want to manifest, is what I mean. It's exactly what I'm telling you. You just said in this, you just answered your own question on what you need to focus on. You said you're feeling self-conscious, you said you're feeling insecure, and you said you don't feel good enough. Forget the part with the man at the end of the sentence. You don't feel good enough. You're feeling insecure, you're feeling self-conscious. Your focus should be on all three of those things. Some of you guys are answering your own questions. That's what I mean by back engineering. When your mind goes to all the things of why you can't have something, if you're having those kind of thoughts, what comes up? You just answered it. So that's what you need to focus on. You need to be focused on being secure and validating yourself and knowing that you're good enough to have anything that you want, not just a man, but anything that you want. Knowing that you deserve to be happy, knowing that you deserve to receive love, knowing that it's safe to receive love, knowing that you are secure with yourself and in relationships. That's where your focus should be. And self-conscious sounds like you're self-conscious of your body. You should be addressing that as well. So I hope your self-concept affirmations is not some things that you found on Pinterest. You just answered your question. So your affirmations should be catered to those topics. And just to let you know, if you get triggered while addressing it, it's okay. Breath work, go for a walk, work out, do whatever, and then just refocus. So for my sad girl era, I'm working 2 jobs, not even for the money, but to learn something new and not to be in the house. But I still find myself wanting to waver. I still find myself wanting to waver from my manifestation. That's just discipline, guys. So think of a basketball player. Basketball player drills are usually always the same. Sports players' drills are usually the same. So like when I was running track, drills were usually the same. I was doing stretches, I was doing mobility, I was doing some sprints, warming it up. Usually practice was the same. We did a mile warm up, whatever. Drills for sports are usually the same, and depending on how great that player is depends on how different each drills are for them. They make it a little extra focus. So what I'm saying is a sports player will go into practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let's say on Wednesday they realize they go in and they're practicing, they might have a little bit of an off day. That does not tell them or help them define that Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday, they're not going to have a good practice. They just had not a good practice there. So you're saying you got the 2 jobs to learn something new, but then you realize you have a moment that you waver. That's not defining anything. It means nothing. You don't have to make it mean anything. You're still doing, you can give it the meaning. Oh, hey, no, wait, it's actually still working out for me. I'm doing so great with myself. I'm learning something new at this job, and that's it. Don't get hooked up on every little, you don't have to get hooked up and give these things like, be super analytical of yourself like that. A lot of you guys have to grant yourself some grace. You're so hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself as you're shifting your life. You have to grant yourself some grace. You have to be understanding. You also be understanding you got these beliefs from someone who passed it down to you, and they did the best that they could. So it's okay. You now have this information and you're changing your life. And so if you decide to have a future generation, if you're in that population of people who want children, you can now have the power so that they don't have to go through that. It's just a learning, granting yourself grace, and keeping it pushing. That's it. Hi, Ellie. I love seeing all the red stars from Ellie and DeCaries. They've been in my group for a minute, and I love that for you guys. VIP group, I also have a super surprise for you guys too. But I'm like, that's why I've been focused, guys. Do not think that if I'm not posting anything that I'm not working. You guys are gonna really, 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 really like it. Okay. Who called himself a failure? I hope nobody called himself a failure in here. We're not talking that kind of talk about yourself in here. And also, there's no such thing as failing. I hate to burst that bubble. And I think I talked about that in another video. There's no such thing as failure. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. If you run a race and you lose the race, okay, you lost the race. Does that mean that you can never be the fastest runner? Does that mean that you cannot try in the next race to be the fastest runner? Does that mean that it ends your career of ever being a great? No. Unless you took that loss and goes, I've failed at life. I failed at, I've been practicing, I failed. Unless you took it as that. Remember, you guys are really writing the story for yourself. If I find that my mind is going to, I made a mistake, I go, okay, you know what? I behaved like this. I reacted like this. Cool. I'm going to hold myself accountable. If I need to apologize, I will. If it's something that I need to take a step back and just breathe, I will, and just readjust here, I will. But okay, I'm going to keep going after that. You're not knocking me out the ring for what I want. Some of you guys be counting yourself out the race, and this is your life. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Get information. I'm really sticking with that title. Get information, y'all. I'm actually about to listen to that song as I go to Target after this. Get information. Everyone around me is getting married and getting what I want. Is that BBL? So, Ian, are you new to my channel as well? When I ask that question, don't be afraid. I'm just asking for a reason, because if you are been here, I'm going to tell you, you know better than to ask that. But if you're new here, I'm going to break it down for you. So, for those of you who don't know what BBL is birds before land. And Neville talks about, was it Neville? Talks about birds before land, where let's say you're manifesting something, either someone else, you will see somebody else get it, or you will see like something similar unfold around you, or you get a sign. And so what I found when I first started in this journey is that people would get so hooked on signs. A perfect example of, I know it's not Neville. I don't know who came up with the term birds before land, but it's a term in the manifestation community. Thank you for that. What I found with signs is that people get hooked on signs. So, for example, the number one thing, oh, thank you, Decurious. It is. You know, I appreciate you. Okay, so one of the things that people will get hooked on that you guys have seen in this spiritual community is numbers. Oh, I saw 222. Oh, I like this at 1111. Oh, I saw 555. And now, when you look up those numbers, when you go on the internet, most of them have the same meaning, right? Or you'll ask one person what 222 means, they'll be like, it means love and romance is coming. And you ask another person what it means friendship is coming. So you're looking at all those things outside of you as signs, and it's nice. It's great. You should not, not be happy to see it, but it's not what you want. So, for example, you want to be married. You see that people around you is getting married. Like I said, you can acknowledge it and be like, I love that. I'm taking that as I'm getting married next. You can absolutely do that. But to sit there, I'm not saying this is what you did, but to sit there and continuously look for signs, you're going to put yourself in a loop of looking for signs. When I notice something similar happening outside of me to what I want, I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. My sister started talking to her current boyfriend after I was talking to my current partner, okay? Hers started taking off at the speed of light. She was in a relationship. I saw that and I was just like, what the hell? But you know what? I'm happy for my sister, and I'm taking that as a sign that I'm next. I said, but I'm not going to focus on her and what she's doing. I'm going to still continue to focus on me being in my partnership. And that's exactly how. Okay, you are new. That's why I wanted to break it down, because if you're new, I'm going to break it down for you. So, sorry. You can absolutely look at the people around you and say, wow, you're getting married. It's a sign. It's a sign that I'm going to be married next. But be very aware that you're not getting hooked up on seeing signs to prove to you that you're getting married. So, for example, when I saw my sister get in a relationship, all I did was a simple, I'm actually happy for my sister. My sister deserves to be happy. I also deserve to be happy. So I'm going to continue to focus on I can be in a committed relationship. But I did not need to see that to tell myself that I'm going to be in a relationship. I also didn't need to see other signs to see that I'm going to be in a relationship, because I decided. Manifestation is really just deciding what you're going to experience and not wavering from it. I decided that I'm going to be married and going to be in a wonderful, amazing relationship. Cool. I'm going to go every day knowing this, knowing this, knowing this, knowing this, knowing this. I see a sign. Love this. I know this. I know this. I don't need the sign. I know. I validate myself. Therefore, you have the experience. All right, En. So a lot of this is ultimately deciding what you're going to experience. If you get external validation, lovely. Like if you're telling yourself I'm beautiful, and then somebody comes and tell you you're beautiful, okay, thank you, I love that. But you didn't necessarily need that person to tell you that you were beautiful because you decided that you were beautiful. Do you understand what I'm saying? That validation has to come from you. That's the inner knowing. That's the inner knowing. You knew you were beautiful. Somebody else saying you were beautiful is lovely. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. But at the same time, I knew I was beautiful. You're not going to be rude though, thank you. So it's the same thing. I know I'm going to be married. I know I'm going to be with the man of my dreams. I know that my man is going to be everything that's on my list. Oh, I noticed that my friends are getting married. That's such a nice sign. But I didn't necessarily need that to know that this is still going to be my experience. You understand? I was going to say, welcome to, yeah, right. Welcome to the family. I don't actually read any of those books anymore either. Because what I realized about books like that, like even like a little bit of, you guys know my favorite is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Sometimes I read books just to see what other conscious manifestors are writing about, but I don't necessarily read books to necessarily take from them, because what I realized is that every person is writing their self-help book from their experience. So there's some who write and say you can't do this, and then there's some who's like you can do this. Everybody's writing from their experience. But I read some of these books just to kind of see like what are they even talking about. Dr. Joe Dispenza just happens to be my favorite because he likes science and I like science. Neville was really great because Neville, you compared it to a lot of verses from the Bible, but also Neville had a lot of great, a lot of great lectures that kind of opened your mind. Florence was a little bit more on the darker side for me, but she was great as well because she was firm. She persisted in things that she wanted to experience. And there's so many others, but those are some of like the OGs, I suppose. Exactly. Signs follow, they don't proceed. So if you keep looking for signs, you're going to get stuck in a loop. Um, yeah, be decisive. I would love to have a YouTube channel of my own, but editing is so hard. How can I manifest that a source of income? Okay, well, first, girl, get that story together. I would love to have a YouTube channel of my own, period. You continued though and didn't put a period, but editing is hard. So do you know what your experience is going to be? You're either not going to start because you think editing is hard, or you're going to start and then editing is going to be hard. You are creating your life. You are creating the story for yourself. You can just as easily say, I want to have my own YouTube, or I'm doing my own YouTube, and even if I know nothing about editing, I'm going to be the best at it. Just as easily. And you know what's going to happen? When you go into editing, what's going to happen is you might find a YouTube channel that breaks it down easily for you. You may not find a YouTube channel, and then naturally you realize, actually, I'm a natural at this. Before you even got into making a YouTube, you already labeled editing as hard. Why would you do that to yourself? This is what I'm trying to help you guys be aware of. Be aware, literally, what you are saying is the story you are experiencing. So some of you are trying to ask, why am I experiencing this? What have you been thinking? What have you been saying? Yeah, and also I do not promote like bullying if people think things that are different. Because what I found is that when people think differently, like what I mean, for example, is especially in this community, people go tit for tat off of affirmations, visualization, do this, do that. But I lived in a world before conscious manifesting where people were doing what the hell they wanted. So you can't come and tell me these millions of rules. So I want my community to feel like they're safe doing what they want to do. I'm just here to, hey, 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 be encouraged. Keep going, keep going. You're doing great, sweetie. You remember, just imagine like a soccer mom. You're doing great, sweetie. That's the vibe I want my channel to give. I don't promote anything else. I'm not going to do bullying. I'm not going to support anything, and I'm not going to support judgmental comments, because what I had to realize too in manifesting my life is everybody is at different places in their life, and everybody's going to want something else in their life. People might even frown upon the fact that I don't want to be higher than a millionaire. Like, my cap for me, I'm actually okay with if I don't surpass being a millionaire. Like, I'm okay. I don't aspire to be a billionaire. Some people might frown upon that, but that's okay. And I want you guys to really tap into what you want, because when you get clear on what you want, you're more sure and sturdy. And what I mean by that is, for example, I know myself. I know what I want to experience. I'm sure of this. I know this is what's going to make me excited. This is what's going to make me, I'm already happy, but make me happy. So if somebody outside of me tries to come and go, well, you can't do this, or you can't do that, or this is not possible, I'm not going to be swayed by their internal judgment or their internal limitation. I'm going to stand firm and be like, that's what you think. That's not what I think. So it's very important, like, especially because I noticed that a lot of people said they were new here today. It's very important to be clear on what you want. So I'm the first generation business owner. My parents are immigrants, right? Who believed in going to school, being either a doctor or a lawyer, and that's only success. I broke that mold by going against that limiting belief. That's a limiting belief to me. And I personally did go to school, did get a degree, but I owned a business. And I worked my business and a different job and was still successful. If I would have listened to my parents, I probably would have been in that job and okay. But in my head, this is what I knew I can experience, and I stood firm on that, and my parents did not sway me. One thing about me is once I decide, hey, this is what I want, nothing is budging me from that, not even myself. So if limiting beliefs try to come up, I'm like, well, if you want it, why are you creating that limit? I'm like, you're right. Let's drop it. And I drop it like a hot potato. I'm scared to sleep in a house by myself or by alone in my house. And I overcoming my higher self protects me in my new home. Yep. Or you can get an animal. That's not even a manifestation answer. That's just a physical answer. You can get an animal. You can train a dog. I used to think about that when I wanted to get a home by myself. I was like, or if I was to start off and have it by myself and then later have a partner, I was like, I'm going to get a dog and I'm going to train a dog. My dog will be loving, but I would train my dog to be a protector. You could do that. Cats, I don't know. Topic is debatable there, but, you know. Your explanation really helped me, and I'm going to give positive meaning. It can be triggering to see everyone get what I want. I feel jealous at times, but I'm trying to trust that he is coming to me. Okay, so that's okay. You're naturally going through the thought process of, well, what about me? And address that, because the sooner you address that is the sooner that is that you leave those waters. You're feeling some type of way because you feel like you want to have it. You feel like you deserve it. So when you notice those feelings of like, I don't need to be jealous. I'm happy with this person, but I deserve love. I deserve to have it now. I deserve to have a partner that's supportive. I deserve to have somebody that's everything on my list. Just do it continuously. Persist in that. Naturally, the jealousy will go. Naturally, the comparing yourself will go. And what's going to naturally happen is options will show up to you. You're going to probably go out with a friend and somebody's going to approach you. You can go to the grocery store and somebody will approach you. You can post a picture and somebody will comment. Somebody from your past who you probably weren't paying attention to may message you. It's unlimited ways that it can happen. You just have to allow yourself to receive it. So instead of thinking I'm jealous because they have and I don't, because that's the state of not having, you remind yourself, actually, what I'm feeling is that I deserve this. And actually I do. But I don't need to be jealous. I'm just going to tap into my story and persist in that. Okay? See that right, guys? You guys see that, what S just said? She said, and you are totally right about the not starting. I'll record and then never get to the edit part because I assumed it would be hard. So remember, she was just saying she wants to start a YouTube, but she assumed that editing will be hard. And I said, you're going to make that experience for yourself. Really think about, guys, I told you guys this in the last live. When you are thinking about your desired topic, you have to be real. So when I realized I wanted commitment and I wanted to experience commitment, I sat myself down literally at this desk and I had my journal and I said, actually, what are my thoughts on commitment? What do I really feel? What do I see when I see, what do I feel? What do I think when I see couples? What do I think when I see romantic dates being suggested on social media? What do I think when I see girlies expressing how guys showed up for them? And what do I think? And when I got real with myself, I realized my thinking was commitment is hard. That guys don't commit. That I'm not committed to. That guys like me, but then when it gets to the commitment stage, it gets shaky and then it's weird. And what do you think my experience was? Just that. So I just rewrote that story. And now I'm in a beautiful partnership with the sweetest man. He is so sweet and so funny, right? So, like, you have to really get honest with yourself. It's the only way you're going to change it. I was not talking about appearance changes. Are you asking me to talk about appearance changes? Are there any books you recommend us to read, or is better to just focus on what's essential? Well, I do have books that you can read if you are a book reader, but just always remember everybody's writing. So when I go into reading a book, when I go into watch a YouTube video, I go into it understanding that everybody is teaching from their experience. So just like me, you should be watching me going, I'm teaching from my experience. I'm actually going to take what empowers me and I'm going to leave what doesn't. So I don't necessarily talk about things that don't empower you, but you get my point. But if I was to suggest a book, I would suggest this one by Neville Goddard, right? This, The Art of Believing. This is a really great book. Simple. Do you see how small it is? Short. You see how it's highlighted? There's really great gems in here. Let's see what I highlighted. See right here. Self-confidence on your part and through thorough belief in the truth of your mental assertion are all that is needed to produce the results. So a lot of times, it's not even that you guys can't have what you want. It's just some of you guys don't believe you're capable of having it. And that's why I tell some of you to focus more on, I can have what I want. I can create the life of my dreams. I can do all things that I say that I can do. You understand? Like, part of it is actually believing in your power in some regard. So, Neville Goddard. And then if I was to recommend anything else, would be this. This book was really great. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This was a really, 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 really educational book, but a really great book. He broke down the science of the brain, but also he explains why you act like that. Like he explained why you act the way that you act, why your personality and why your self-concept is the way that it is. And he breaks it down and shows you exactly how you can change it so you're not feeling hopeless. But he also shows you how beliefs that we have are just developed from, passed down from parents, from things that we watch, experiences that we have. And just like it was shaped through that, you can reshape it to be what it is. So he focuses a lot on self-concept, but he also focuses a lot on visualization and meditating in a way. So, great book. And I would then, if you're not a reader and you're a visual person, choose a YouTuber that you feel explains it the best and stick there. Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? A big difference with you though is that you never tell us that we're doing it wrong, and you never impose anything makes a difference in trusting ourselves. Because you know why I'm a big advocate for not. I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm a big advocate for telling you guys do what you feel called to. My sister is the complete opposite to me. We are best friends and we are sisters, but she's different than me. I stumbled across law of assumption before her, and I taught it to my sister. My sister is actually an artist. If you follow me on my main page, some of you have seen some of my sister's drawing. My sister's an artist. She manifests through visuals and seeing pictures. So she manifested through doing her little Pinterest boards and all of those things. She didn't sit doing affirmations. She didn't sit scripting. She just played with her Pinterest board and saw pictures and dwelled in that, right? And she manifested her job. She manifested her boyfriend, that is her current boyfriend. She manifested things, doing things with her boyfriend. There's other things too that she manifested. And I'm like, how could I tell her that she's wrong? She put herself into the state of the wish fulfilled through her Pinterest board. So that made me realize, oh, the community is focusing on the technicalities, and that's not what we should be focused on. There are certain things though that I honestly believe, like, you should know your worth, and you should honestly have standards and not accept less. I will never budge on that. Because sometimes in the manifestation world, what I find is that because people believe they can affirm for change or visualize for change, they sit and take crumbs, or they sit and take abuse. I do not agree with that. I believe that you deserve the best and you can change situations, but never take less than. So those are things that I believe. And that's why I teach the way that I teach, because it's like, how can I come on here and tell you guys, hey, just affirm? What if that's not what you like to do? That means you're asked out? I don't think that's fair. So what I mostly push you guys to do is really trust yourself, because changing your life is a trust thing anyway. What, you're going to ask your friend every day, should I become a doctor? Should I become a lawyer? You're going to ask your mom, your dad every day, should I brush my teeth or comb my hair first? Should I go travel the world or should I stay in my room? At some point, you have to take the reins and take control of what you're creating for your life. And that is mindset work. Okay, Alana, you was asking questions. Let's see what you're saying. Let's see. I'm biased. I'm biased on appearance changes, and I'm going to tell you why. So take this information as you will. I was a personal trainer, so I mix mindset with working out. So I'm going to always say, you can actually mix mindset with a working out hobby. It doesn't just necessarily have to be the gym. And that's what I'll tell you. However, let's say that's not what you want to do and it's not about your body. What I would say is, when you think about yourself, you automatically think you look a certain way. So you need to start thinking that you look the way that you want to look, or your body does what you want it to do. And I'll give an example, not just physical, like I'm just going to even talk about healing. Think about the people who was diagnosed with cancer, right? They go to the hospital, they're diagnosed with cancer, and they say, nope, 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 no, 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 no. I'm not choosing that. I'm not taking that as my final answer. And they tell themselves no. And what happens? Usually those people go in and cancer is completely gone, or they maybe had to do maybe a few sessions of chemo and then they're out of there, because they told themselves, I know what you told me, doc, but I'm telling you what is happening, doc. And that's what they experience. And these are real life stories. You guys can type in random cancer miracle stories and find that on Google, I'm pretty sure, right? Because they're very common, right? It's the same thing. You feel you're presented with what you have right now, but you can absolutely change what it is that you're experiencing. You just need to decide. And every time you look in the mirror, you need to decide, this is not my end goal. Okay, I'm a little bit not as toned as I want to be when I look in the mirror, but this is not my end goal. This is what I look like. Naturally, It's either you may eat healthier. Naturally, you may not. Naturally, you may start going for walks. Naturally, something might happen where you can get what you want. But the whole point is to believe that it can change. And it can. But like I said, I'm an advocate for the gym. So I'm going to say, why don't you just pair it with the gym and say, every time I go to the gym, I can just do a couple of steps on the Stairmaster. And that's it. The gym is just easy for me to use because that's, like I said, everybody teaches through their experience. How do I deal with negative emotions, thoughts about my past bullying? So first of all, emotions are normal. You're human. You were bullied. Okay? So imagine a group of people literally annoying you and irritating you and calling you names. Of course, it's going to bring up emotions. If you can look at emotions as things that come up to just be released, you're not going to feel guilty when you feel those emotions. That's going to erase the guilt part, right? Because what some of you feel is that when you cry, when you react, when you get angry, when you curse somebody out, when you curse somebody out or you react, you feel guilty after, like, damn, I should have never reacted like that. Why am I acting like that? And that right there, you don't have to do that. You're human. You can acknowledge what you did, like, all right, well, I cried today. That's fine. I released it. And what's going to happen there is you're going to change your response to emotions. Because some of you label emotions as bad, which they're not. You're going to change your response to emotions. You're now going to see emotions as a natural thing because they are. We do cry. We do get angry sometimes. We do get irritated sometimes. It's natural. We're human. However, your emotions are tied to a certain experience. You need to change that in your mind. So it's either you're going to get additional help, like with a therapist, and that's fine. Or if you can handle changing the story on your own, what you're going to do is say, I am now in control of the narrative. Because with bullying is usually people trying to assert power over you. So you feel powerless, whether they're physically bullying you or whether they're verbally bullying you. They're asserting a dominance over you, right? To feel better, where you feel powerless. And that's how they feel satisfied. So bullying probably left you powerless or feeling powerless, hence the emotions. This is where you have to reestablish your power, okay? So you're dealing with the emotions, you're letting the emotions pass. Like, yes, I was bullied, but you know what? I am powerful. I'm telling my narrative. I get to change my story. I get to have exactly what it is that I want. I can decide how I'm spoken to. I'm addressed with respect. Change your story there so you can become a different person. So when you think about bullying stories, when you even think about like cartoons or even sitcoms, the person that's usually bullied, what usually happens, they go through this period of time of leveling up. And when they're leveling up, they usually meet back up with their bully in whatever regards. And the bully is like nothing now because they've leveled up. They've now seen you're powerless. You can never speak to me like that again. Same concept. At that point in your life, you saw those bullies as somebody or something powerful, more powerful than you. As you're reestablishing who you are now in society in terms of, I am this person, I am confident, I am powerful, I do trust myself. You're now going to see either those past bullies or bullies in general as powerless because you control your narrative. Okay? That story of the cancer is so true. My grandpa is 87, had cancer stage 4 over 10 years ago, and he said, no, I'm going to survive. And he did. Also had heart attack, triple bypass, diabetes, still alive and healthy. He's healthier than he's ever been. The belief changed it for me. So, yeah, I use that example all the time, too, with my dad. You guys know this story. I say it all the time. My dad was in a coma, and he said when he got out of the coma, and he was on life support. When he got out of the coma, he said that all he would say was, oh, I'm going to get out of this to see my children. I'm going to get out of this to see my family. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get to see my children be healthy, happy, and be raised. I'm going to be fine. He's fine. He's annoying, but he's fine. Okay? So it's really mindset. And the reason why I bring up people who are into conscious manifesting and I bring up people who are not, because I want to remind you guys that before you knew these terms, you were doing this. So think of all the people in the world right now who are not on conscious manifesting boards, forums, watching videos, and experiencing the life that they want. A lot of them have a mindset that they either can get what they want, relationships work out for them, money comes to them. They usually have certain beliefs, hence why they're experiencing what they want. So, for example, my partner is actually really great with money, right? But he has a great money mindset, and he's not even into this. He has a great money mindset. And whenever I would ask him about money, his mindset and his responses about money is always of the upper echelons levels. He's here with it, calm, serious, no budge, and he's not even into this. But in my head, because I'm into this, I know exactly what's happening. He has beliefs about himself in relation to money, and that's why he experiences that. Even think of what they call finance bros, or men that work on Wall Street, or men that work in like investment, whatever. They usually walk around like they got money. Like the business tie, they walk, and their mindset is, I get money. And what do you think their lifestyle is? They get money. They have money. They usually make over a certain amount when you look into like the median of in certain states. It's all in your mind, guys. All there. The stories that you're running. And all I'm asking you guys to do is get information and change the story. That's all I'm asking you. Get information, choose the story, and live your life. I actually had my friend hit me up this past week, and she goes, all right, I just want to say this. I said, okay. And she said exactly what she wanted to experience in her life, which I would not share with you guys because it was shared personally. But she stated exactly what she wanted to experience in her life. She said, and this is what's happening. I said, you go get it. You go get it, girl. It's all you. No question. She didn't hit me up to ask me what I think. She didn't hit me up to go, oh, no, Nikki, I know that you be teaching it. Like, no, she came to me and said, this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. This is now my life. And I'm not taking anything else but this. And when I talk to you guys, all I'm trying to get you guys to do is embody that same energy, that same thing. That house is mine. Oh, that guy's my crush? Please. He's going to be asking me to be his girl in a couple of weeks. It's so hard not to fall in love with me. My personality is addicting. My personality is amazing. One hang out with me and they asking me to hang out 3 more times. When I'm not there, they miss me. Like, get into your bag. Get into really talking your shit. I don't even care what YouTube do with that. Like, get into it. Get into it. Some of you guys is like, oh, but how do I get him to like me? Girl, guy, if you don't wake up and say how amazing you are, of course they're going to want to talk to you. And the thing is, what some of you fear is that, oh, but what if? Why are we even thinking that? But what if they don't? But why are we even thinking that? You're cool, right? So why wouldn't they? So if you're not there in the confidence level, I'm talking to you now. So this is who I'm talking to. If you're not there, if you're not confident enough yet to say, I'm that, that's fine. You can build your way up. But your belief system then should be around trusting yourself. Your belief system should be around realizing that you have this power and you know how to wield it. So I'm powerful and I can. Your mindset should be around, actually, it is possible to create my desired life. That's what your focus should be on if you're not at that level of confidence yet. As you start to realize your confidence is building, start getting in your bag. I'm popping. I'm amazing. My personality is amazing. My specific, unique characteristics are so irresistible. They can't stop talking to me. There's just something about me. I'm funny. Get in your bag. Get in your bag, guys. The God power in us is the creative energy, and it creates exactly what we say and what we think. God isn't the prayer answerer. You create exactly what you want. That's a God-given power. So yes, I agree, but I understand some religious people who That's why there's a whole debate between manifestation and the religious world, because of terms. And this is why I try to teach you guys of, instead of getting, you're absolutely right, and but this is why I teach you guys, before we even knew about the terms, we were doing this. So let's really think about that. You were doing this before. We've been doing this. So kind of just get back into the natural state of, you know what? Although I know the word persisting, although I know the word birds before land, although I know the word manifestation, actually I've been doing this before, so I don't need to get hooked up on that. I just need to focus on being this version of me. I'm new. Thanks for the kick in the butt, Nikki. That's what I'm here for. I'm new to the community. How can I turn my SP situation around? SP used to be obsessed with me, good way, and now SP told they see me more as a friend and now dating someone. Oh, okay. Girl, you a guy, Miles, are you a boy or girl? I don't know. Tell me so I can say what I want to say. I'll help you out. And Alana, thank you. I actually do skincare, and I talk to my skin because my skin is a living is an organism. So I just talk to it and say, "You're so beautiful. You're always glowing. Every time I wash you, you just get better and better." People can't help but talk about your skin. That's how I talk to myself. Okay, you're a guy. Okay, Miles, perfect. Okay, I got you. You're new to the community. When, and I want you to answer this. When your SP was obsessed with you in a good way, what were you thinking about yourself at that time? Like, what were your thought processes about yourself? What was your thought processes about relationships? So, for example, before my partner and me are where we are, like when we first like met up, because we're friends from college, for some of you who don't know the story, the first time around when he was like pursuing me, I was really confident in myself. I thought I was cute. I thought I was like different. I thought I was a breath of fresh air. And he pursued me in that. When me and him got shaky and it wasn't the same pursuit, I became desperate. I didn't think I was good enough. I felt I had to chase. I felt I had to force. So what was your thinking process when that person was like on you? So if you can give me that answer, I can answer your questions for you. What's just a circumstance? No, I know the Carries is just a circumstance, but also Miles is new to the group. So I want to answer their question in a specific way. And then I'm going to explain to him that it is a circumstance, but I just want to explain to him if he answers like what he was like. I don't know what he was thinking at that time. I'm just giving him a chance to answer. I don't offer one-on-one coaching, and I'll say this. If you have a question for me, you can ask me on the Instagram, __ elevated mindset. I do ask, though, that when you come into the DMs, you say, "Hey, Nikki, do you have a moment?" Allow me to respond, and then you can ask your question. Do not dump your circumstances in my DMs, because I will not answer you. This is my boundary, okay? So if you hit me up, "Hey, hello, can I ask you something?" Allow me to answer, and then you can ask your question. So I do not coach, but you can do that. And I'll answer my question if you ask nicely. And this is my boundary because I found that people have crossed this boundary. So now this boundary is here to stay. Miles is not answering, so I'm going to try to answer Miles' question in a way that I'm going to just have to assume. So if you look at what Miles did answer. Okay. I was great. Confident, wasn't desperate. I was all about me. And now I'm chasing, sometimes feeling a bit desperate, and sometimes asking SP why we never worked on things, and then they never go nowhere. Boom. All right, Miles. So let me teach you here. I want you to look at your question, and I want you to look at what you just answered. You said, in the beginning, she was obsessed. She was in a good way, meaning she probably was reciprocating the energy. She probably was giving, you was giving, taking. It was a nice flow. Y'all had a juicy thing going. And I asked you, when that was happening, what was your mindset about yourself? And you replied and said, I was great. I was confident. I wasn't desperate. I was all about me. That was the answer. Then at the second part of your question, you go, now you and SP are not where you want to be, and you gave the circumstance, which doesn't matter. And then you, in response, you put, but now I'm chasing, and sometimes I feel a bit desperate, and sometimes I'm asking what we doing. So you're basically asking what the status is. You're basically on shore. Okay? Do you see the two? I'm teaching you guys how to answer your own questions. But Miles, you're new, so I'm going to break it down for you. You just answered your question. When that person pursued you, it could have been her, it could have been girl A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. But your thoughts about yourself was that you were the shit. Your thoughts was that I'm confident. Of course somebody would want to talk to me. And you happen to like this one. So when you interacted with this one, there was an equal give and take because your thoughts of yourself was that I'm confident. I'm great. Of course they would want to talk to me. Therefore, that's what she reflected. I want to talk to him. He's confident. He's great. He's sure of himself. Somewhere along the line, that changed. It doesn't even matter. We don't even have to go into why it changed. We don't have to go into the history because circumstances don't matter. But what I'm saying is, clearly, along the lines, something changed. So if I can use me as an example, I experienced that. He was pursuing, he was trying to always take me on dates, he was trying to do that, and I was confident. Something happened, I don't remember exactly, and I changed the way that I viewed myself. He didn't necessarily do anything. It wasn't even that he did anything. It wasn't even that I experienced something. I just changed. I don't know. So I just changed the way that I thought about myself. I just thought of myself as not good enough. Therefore, how do you think he started showing up? He started pursuing a little bit less. So I started chasing a little bit more. He started to not talk to me as much, and I started to text a little bit more. He started to not prioritize me, and I started to try to finagle my way to be seen in his presence and to be where he was. The moment that I addressed how I viewed myself is the moment that I experienced something new. So as of right now, you're probably a little bit chasing. You're probably a little bit desperate because you're still attached to, but we were just so great. But what your focus should really be on is changing how you're viewing yourself. You need to go back or even take that and elevate it. You need to go into thinking yourself confident again. You need to be sure of yourself. Because think about it. When you're dating and you usually like someone, what is it that draws you to that person? Whether they're confident in themselves, they're sure of themselves, they're pouring into their passion, they're doing yes, you are, Miles, and that's okay. You're learning here. But if you can take what I'm saying, Miles, and say, actually, I can get this person. I can be with this person again. It can work out again. But you know what? I want to be with this person in a state where I'm not chasing, I'm not begging. Because you don't need to beg for love. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you don't need to beg for love. You can absolutely be in a partnership where there's equal give and take. But if you are continuously thinking you're not good enough, what's going to happen is you're going to keep chasing. And the continuous chasing is an action confirming to your brain that you're not good enough to receive because you keep chasing. Pursuing is different than chasing, okay? Especially if you're a guy who wants to pursue a woman or another guy, whoever you're into, right? If you're someone that's into, because I know that that's a whole topic too. Like, should the guy pursue? Should the girl? It don't matter. If you are someone that's into pursuing, please understand that pursuing is different from chasing. Pursuit is intentional. Chasing is you just running. Forrest run! You just running. Pursuit is intentional, okay? That means intentional, like, all right, I'm pursuing this person, but I'm confident in my pursuit of this person. I know that I bring this to the table. I know that I have this about myself. I know that I'm great. I know that I'm a catch, and there's a difference in energy, okay? So, Miles, my homework to you would be to really put down the person you're interested in for a second. I gave this homework to Bree. Actually, where is Bree? Bree have homework, y'all. Where's she at? And I gave the homework in the last live at the end. I'm going to give the same homework. Yeah, the questions today were really great. Miles, do it however it suits you. Okay? You need to get yourself back into the mindset of the miles that felt that you were great, thought you were great. And I don't know what you want to do. You could do affirmations. You can record affirmations on a sleep tape and listen to it. You can create a routine that works for you. You can do whatever you want, right? You can do visualizations. Do whatever you want. But get yourself back into the mindset that this is who you are being. Now, when you establish that, and I'm telling you to just focus on that for a little bit. Because right now, I think you trying to focus on this and then you trying to like make that work. Just focus on that, because now when you start to get more stable in being this Miles, being this confident Miles and showing up, what's going to happen is you're no longer going to feel the need to chase. You're going to go, wait, actually, I'm good enough. And I don't have to chase to experience this young lady or this young man. I'm good enough. And it's going to change how you think about this person. You're going to think, actually, I'm good enough for them to talk to me. And they're going to realize that every other encounter they have, they're going to realize how much they miss me. Your tone and story about that person is going to change naturally. And then you can even get creative and create a story that you want. So for example, a story that I created for me and my partner that I thought was really cute was whenever it rains, he wants to cuddle. And that happens. It's just a random story. I just chose it. Right? So, but I chose in a time that I was starting to have fun. I'm like, I'm feeling more confident. I feel like, okay, I'm feeling myself. Get back to that Miles. And get back to that Miles and make it a million times better. Be very sure of yourself. And to be sure of yourself, you need to be focusing on yourself and the story that you're telling internally. Right now, you're telling a story that you're not sure in relationships. You're trying to figure it out. You're being desperate. That means you think that you're not good enough to be with someone. You're chasing. You're taking a lot of external actions, and you just need to fix the story internally. That's it. So just readjust the story in here. And then as you start to think about this person, you're going to naturally see how the thoughts change. So when I was still in my insecure state and I would think about my partner, the thoughts that would come up would be like, oh, I don't know if they want to talk to me, right? But as I started to build this story of myself and focus on my inner story that I'm amazing and actually I deserve love, when I would think of him, it's more so like, I know he's thinking about me. There's no other option. It's like, there's no other story that I can potentially believe. And I didn't fight that. Okay? So it's absolutely possible, Miles, to be with this person again. You can actually have this person and whoever else. But if you want this person, it's possible. But I think readjust your view on yourself so that you can approach this situation as the brand new you. Okay? Bree actually has homework. I'm going to find Bree. Wherever she is, she got homework and I need to know if she did it. It's funny, another Bree's in here. Hi. It was a Bree. Her name was Brei. That Bree I gave homework. I'll just have to figure out when she comes back in. How long should you do it for? So here's the thing, Miles. Like I said, you're new, so you're probably just trying to make a routine for yourself. You're gonna know when you're the new Miles. So when I was insecure and I was changing my beliefs, this is how I would know sometimes if I was still in the old Nikki or if I was the new Nikki. There was something that he did in regards that I used an example in the last one, and this is going to be it before I go. And he would like carry his phone with him everywhere, which is something he does all the time. Because I was still in the insecure state, when I would see him carry the phone then in that state, I would feel some type of way. Or automatically like, oh, why is he taking his phone with him? Oh, right? I wouldn't necessarily say something. So to me, that's when I knew, oh, I need to continue to focus on being the new me. I need to still continue to persist because I'm still responding like the Nikki that's insecure. So it's not time that you're looking at. You're looking at the internal shifts. Take your attention off of how long you should do it. Pay attention to when you notice inside here changes. So when I noticed that I would look and he would have his phone and I felt no type of way anymore and I genuinely didn't care and I wasn't pretending not to care, like I genuinely didn't care, that's when I started to notice like, I'm proud of you, Nikki. You're really becoming that secure version of you. Okay, and or I would notice like if he answers after, like where he would take like an hour, where it used to make me upset, and now it's just like he could literally be taking a nap. He can literally be, and I would be genuinely okay. Is when I knew, oh, okay, the shift is happening or the shift has happened. I am being that Nikki. That's how you're gonna know, Miles. So don't watch for, should I do this for 3 months? Should I do this for 2 months? Because you can change in a month. You can change in less than that. You could change in more than that. You want your focus to be more so on being. So you want to focus on just being that, Miles. And you're going to know. A lot of people try to figure out if things are changing. Just check inward. What are your responses? Are you still responding as the desperate Miles? Or are you responding as the confident Miles? That Miles that's like, you know what? I texted her, hey, if she don't answer, cool, but I know she's thinking about me. Boom. What you're going to realize is she texts you the next day, or she may text you a few minutes later. Just get back into that, Miles. And when you start to be that, Miles, dominantly, that's more so your go-to reactions now, that's how you know. That is how you know. Genuinely. Your reactions are officially different. My partner right now can be in this room with me, and if he have to pick up a call and go outside, I would think nothing of it. I wouldn't think he was being sneaky. I wouldn't think that he was hiding something from me. Me, who I am irreplaceable. I am irresistible. I am good enough. Just that is my I am. So his actions cannot affect that story. However, when I was identifying as insecure and needy, if he was to step outside and go on that phone, heart palpitations, panicking, wondering, trying to listen to see who he's talking to. You can tell by your responses who you are being. You genuinely can. This is why I'm telling you guys, pay attention to yourself. Be aware of yourself. It's the same thing for like a race, because I was a track runner. It's seven, let's say it's 7 girls. I'm identifying as I am the fastest runner. I am the best. I'm not looking at these other girls. I'm looking at myself. However, if I'm sitting there looking, oh my gosh, she got better sneakers than me. She might run off a little bit. I heard about her group. Her group, she goes a little bit fast. I'm identifying as the Nikki that's not fast and not the best. Be very aware. So you're going to know, dependent on your responses, who you are being, but also based on your triggers. So you got this, Miles. You got this. Literally. It's really easy peasy. Just focus. Just discipline your focus. In the beginning, it may be uncomfortable because it's not something that you're used to right now, because you have normalized chasing and being that version of you. After you get past that hump of like discomfort, or like, I wouldn't say discomfort, but like weirdness, and that can take a minute. That can maybe take a day. It's dependent on you. I'm gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna go, guys, because I gotta go to Target before it closes. I'm super grateful for you taking this time with me. I'm gonna do this homework. I appreciate you, Miles, because sometimes guys don't really ask questions. And I like when the guys ask questions, because it's like, ooh, you guys out here manifesting. But I actually have guy friends that are into manifesting. So I know that men are into this. It's so nice to see you guys in the live. I feel like some of you, Tanika, you'll be my last question. But Angel, I just want to address something. Some of you guys just need to practice inner conversations, intentional inner conversations, because you're always having inner conversations. But some of you guys need to practice in inner conversations to calm you down. When your friend or your best friend calls you and they're distraught, your automatic response is, it's okay, boo. It's going to be all right. Everything is going to work out. You don't need to be sad. You don't need to be worried. That's your automatic response to somebody that you care about who's coming to you distraught. Do that with yourself in here. It's okay. It's going to all work out. I know I'm crying right now because I'm frustrated, but it's all going to work out. Do the same thing. Inner conversations. You're noticing the time. I know you want to focus on the time because you want to have this experience and you absolutely deserve this, but it's okay. It's okay. Inner conversation. Some of you guys don't even realize you're doing it. Last question. How do I manifest someone that doesn't know me? People do it all the time. People do it with celebrities. If you know me, like from the beginning stages of my videos, you know I don't believe in celebrities. Meaning, I don't put anybody on that pedestal of celebrity. I think like Rihanna, Beyonce, all the greats that y'all think are celebrities, I think they're just regular humans. That have fame, but I don't identify them as celebrities. So I don't see them as these special people. So I believe that I can go places and will see them. So when I sometimes go places, I see them. They don't know me. So in your case, is it a romantic? Is it platonic? What's the description of what they'll be? Are they existing already? Are you creating this experience? It's absolutely possible. You just listed a circumstance. How many times have people gone to a mutual event or gone to an event and you bump into a person and it's the person that you wanted to meet? How many times have you heard stories of people like, I knew I was going to meet Chris Brown, and going to 7-Eleven and they saw Chris Brown? The only limit is yourself. You are saying they don't know you now, but how do you know that you won't meet them? How do you know that they won't? You know what's so crazy too? I'm not saying that the person you trying to get is a celebrity, but I'm going to use celebrities as an example because for the most part, people are like, oh, the celebrity doesn't know me. Most of the time, celebrities just want to be out of fame sometimes, and they'll go to regular places like a store, or they'll have regular apartments in neighborhoods randomly that you don't know, especially in the city if you're from New York City, just chilling. And people who probably like, I'll probably meet them, probably bump into them in a corner store. If you guys don't know what that is here, if you're not from New York, a corner store is like a deli or a bodega, and you bump into someone. You know, all the time in the city, like New York City, celebrities are casually walking their dogs. Sometimes celebrities are taking the train. How did you know that was going to happen? So you're saying you don't know that person, but how do you know that you won't meet them? How do you know that there's something that won't happen where you can bump into them? You can't, that's a circumstance. So take that off your statement of they don't know me. You're getting clear on what it is that you want to experience and say, I know that this is happening and I don't have to control how this is going to happen. I'm always in the right place at the right time. There's a powerful affirmation for you. I'm always in the right place at the right time. I'm unforgettable. The people that I want notice me. The people that I want to be in my life. The people that I want is intrigued by me. Do you know how much people connect through social? Do you know how much people connect through a friend? Oh, I have a friend for you. Next you know, it's the person that you wanted to be with. How you know that won't happen? You don't know. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You don't know. So why are you placing these limits on yourself? Just like how you can think that 7 ways that it cannot work is the same way that you can think of 7 ways that it can work. Okay, one of the ways was that they don't know me. You're placing that as a limitation. Okay, so then they'll stay not knowing you. Or you can be like, matter of fact, I'm actually mad cool. And I can be in the right place at the right time. I'm going to meet this person and they're going to see me because they have to meet me. You go to a random event and they hosting. You don't know. Open up the consciousness and dream big, guys. I'm about to be out of here. Lauren, you asked a question? I'm going to manage that. Oh, Lauren, I don't coach. If you want to ask me a question, like I was just saying earlier, you have to message me on my Instagram that's connected to this, which is __ elevated mindset. You send me a DM. All you have to say is you got to address, be polite. Hey, hello, can I ask you something? Allow me to answer. Oh, I didn't see the question yet. Allow me to answer, and then you can proceed with your question. But if you automatically come in Drop your question, drop your circumstances, dump your emotions. You're not going to get answered. So that's the most that I do. I do not coach. However, if you want to be in my VIP group, you can. The VIP girlies can tell you. I drop personal stories in there. I talk about my specific person. That's really what I kind of want to charge for. I am working on a program that I'm excited about, but for the most part, I don't want to charge you guys for coaching. This stuff is free. This is stuff that you've been doing. I'm not charging you for that. Unless you want to be in my VIP group. Like I said, it's like a vibe there. And we talk and I post my stories. I just have to go live in there a little bit more. But for the most part, that's it. All right. I love you guys. I'm out of here.